Namo Amida Buddha. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are, in whichever realms of existence you are, whatever state of mind you're in, whatever conditions you're in, you are welcome to my channel. What I wanted to talk about today was recently Shaku Joshin posted a video where he and it might be a while before I can actually post this one because I have a whole queue of videos that I haven't uploaded yet, so it might be as far as like a month or two away that I actually post this one. But anyway, in recent weeks or months, depending on when I get this posted, Shaku Joshin uploaded a video. It was very excellent, about there being no need to offer any proof of Amida's existence, of the existence of Pure Land, of the Amida Dharma, of the Jodo Shinshu, Orthodox Jodo Shinshu Dharma path. No need to offer proofs to people who want to debate or just, want to attack, Orthodox Jodo Shinshu, or think we have to give some kind of apologetics to them. We don't. Oops, sorry, I dropped that. But the main point that I want to get at that he talked about in his video was his faith. That he doesn't, his faith is rock solid. His faith is absolute. He doesn't question. He has no doubt. His faith is full. It's not belief. His faith is knowing. He knows the Pure Land exists. I'm not sure what happened to the video here, so hopefully it will be okay when something happened when I dropped it there, I think. But anyway, I think I might have turned on one of the filters or something. Anyways, he said, his faith is rock solid, diamond-like, no question or doubt, not one question or doubt in his mind. And that is the type of faith that I so badly want to have. I want to have that faith, and have to believe that if I just continue on this path, at some point I will have that. And it's not because of anything I'm going to do. It's not because of anything that I do or accomplish that will bring that about. But I am going to do the things that the Dharma masters teach on this path. That we're going to continue to work with a good teacher of Dharma. I'm going to continue to have discussions with a Dharma friend, Dharma guide. That's who is a student of the good teacher that I'm working with, and is an English speaker, so it just makes it easier to have discussions and ask my questions and discuss my doubts and issues and blockages of faith, as it were. So I'm going to continue to work with a good teacher, continue to listen deeply to the Dharma. It might have been just the light actually shining in there. That might have been all that was going on with the video. Anyway, Doesn't do that though normally. Anyway, sorry, keep getting distracted. So I'm going to continue to do the things that the Jodo Shinshu, Orthodox Jodo Shinshu Dharma path teaches. That is to work with a good teacher of the Dharma, listen deeply to the Dharma, and that's, as Master Renyo instructed, that we're to listen intently to the Dharma with all our being, and continue to say Amida's name, wish to be born in his land, and entrust to him. Not necessarily on order. I think the order should be his entrust to him, wish to go to his land, and say his name. Although I don't think it matters what order those three go in. But anyways, that latter one would seem to be the natural progression. Anyway, I'm going to keep doing that and the teachings say that those things in and of themselves don't bring about faith. Those things don't bring about would not bring about any kind of neither merit nor faith, because it's Amida that brings about faith, and is already shining his light. He's already given the gift. Countless inconceivable amounts of kalpas ago, he gave the gift. He already gave the gift. He accomplished his fulfilled his bodhisattva vows, 48 bodhisattva vows, and manifested the Pure Land, and has been shining his light since then. So it's already he's already given the gift. It's just these things somehow inconceivably make me more open to be able to receive the gift. Something like that. But it's not anything that I do that brings about the gift. The gift is already given and is there. I just need to receive it and be open to receiving that gift. And that the way to do that is in our tradition, in our school of Buddhism, in Orthodox Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, is to listen deeply to the Dharma. So I'm going to keep doing that, but that is what I want. I want the kind of faith that Shaku Joshin has. I want to have the kind of faith that Josho Adrian Curlia Sensei has. I want to have the type of faith that Paul Roberts had, and the kind of faith that Kyokan, my Dharma friend, has, Dharma guide has, and the type of faith that Kobai Sensei has. And all of them have the same Shinjin. They have the same Shinjin as Master Renyo, Master Honen, and Master Shinran. They have the same Shinjin. And ultimately that's, I want that same Shinjin that they all have. So I will, keep walking the path. Keep walking the path. Keep doing all those things I was just talking about, and be ruthless about talking about my questions, discussing my questions, discussing my doubts, discussing my issues, discussing the blockages of faith. Or however that's meant to be expressed. And I'm being pretty ruthless, discussing them with Kyokan, and ultimately discussing them with Kobai Sensei, because he takes pretty much everything we talk about to in one way or another to Kobai Sensei. especially if he can't answer something himself or is not sure of his answer, or if he just wants further clarification, he takes it to Kobai Sensei. If he's not sure of something, absolutely sure. And Kyokan is pretty knowledgeable. He is pretty knowledgeable of the Dharma. He studied Jodo Shinshu Buddhism for quite some time, and is a student of Kopai Sensei, and is a person of faith, person of Shinjin. So I trust, and therefore he's a member of the Arya Sangha. We consider the Arya Sangha, the ideal Sangha, is relying. This is another thing we're meant to do, is rely on, yes, the whole Sangha, both people with and without faith, but in terms of but you're more relying on to have your discussions with people of faith, Anyway, so I'm going to keep on keeping on, as it were, in the hopes that at some point that moment of openness or Shinjin will happen, or the process of Shinjin will happen, and that's about all you can really do. You can't, that has been a source of frustration with me. Anyway, before I get into that, I wanted to continue with what I was saying about how I'm being very ruthless with talking about my questions, doubts, issues, and so forth this time around. I'm not going to try to take a shortcut. I'm not going to ignore any of my doubts, questions, or issues with the Dharma. And when I say issues, I don't mean, like life issues. I mean issues within me, whether mentally, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, whatever it is, where I have an issue with the Dharma, an issue that causes some kind of issue with the Dharma, anyway, for me. So that's what I mean by that. But which basically is really covered under questions and doubts. But yeah, so I'm going to just persevere and just keep doing this, pretty much until one or two things happen. Either I finally receive, am receptive of the gift of Shinjin, or I die. Either way, I'm going to die a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist. So, whether with or without Shinjin, that's the decision I've made. No matter what comes into my mind, no matter what thoughts I have about things, this time I'm not giving up, because there really, really isn't anywhere else to go. There isn't any other Dharma path that is suitable to me, suitable to a bamboo, spiritual idiot, wretch, some of the wretch evil karma and mind and monkey mind as mine. There just isn't anything else that is, compatible with, or is not compatible, but is suitable with that. So this is my course. This is what I'll be doing every day till the day I die. And actually, when I said either until I have Shinjin or I die, well, actually, I'm going to, even when I have Shinjin, I'm going to continue to listen deeply to the Dharma, and keep doing those things that you're meant to do, working with a good teacher, listening deeply to the Dharma, entrusting to Amida, wishing to go to his land and saying his name. I'm going to continue doing those things. So either way, I'm going to continue on this path, whether Shinjin or not, until the day I die. That's the decision, that's the plan. I'm taking refuge in this path. I'm taking refuge in Amida Buddha, in his Dharma, and in his Sangha. That's it. That's the bottom line, as it were. Um, so we'll see how it turns out in the end. But, I just, oh, I just want, I just want to have that Shinjin so bad. And I know it's not a special state of mind. There might be some part of me that's still looking for that, but I know the difference. I know if I believe, I will believe without any doubt. I will have faith without any doubt. And that's just not the case right now. I can't be dishonest with that. I don't have that. I have much more faith than I once had when I started on this path. There's much more faith, but is it faith without any doubt? No. Is it diamond-like Shinjin? No. Is it rock solid faith? No. So, but I do want that, and I'll know the difference. I will know the difference. It doesn't have to be a special state of mind, or a special state of being, or special mind state, or anything like that that's achieved. But I will know the difference between having that slight doubt or having those questions and those doubts not being there anymore. And when I say those questions, when I say questions, I probably still have things that I want to know about the Dharma, but there won't be questions that involve whether I have faith or not anymore. It won't be questions that indicate that I don't have diamond-like Shinjin. It'll just be questions about things I don't know about in the Dharma, or things I want to better understand about the Dharma, to deepen that, understanding, and deepen that connection to Amida and all those kinds of things. But it won't be, so I'll know the difference. that much I know. Yeah, I know it's not a special state of mind, but I'll know the difference between faith with questions and doubts and faith with no doubt whatsoever. I will definitely know this. You know what? I'm getting off this muddy path. Anyway, I don't know what possessed me to think I should take this path on a rainy afternoon, but I did. So anyway, I just after all this time, and it's probably my yearning probably isn't even just from this one lifetime. It's probably from multiple human births, however rare they were, over countless inconceivable innumerable numbers of kalpas where I've had rare human births. It's probably, and I still had a connection to Amida. It's probably a yearning from then too, because it's pretty strong. My yearning to have faith, my yearning for Shinjin, my yearning to go to Pure Land, my yearning to entrust to Amida without any question is very strong, and very well, obviously it is, because I've stuck around all this time for like 15 years, since since that moment I've often talked about where I fell down on my knees and I realized, I remembered that I didn't just fall on my knees when the weight of my karma and the realization of my karmic situation just crushed me. I literally didn't fall just to my knees. I went down flat on my face and before Amida, at Amida's feet, and just cried out to Amida. Since that moment, it's been like 15 years. And it's like, 15 years of really wanting it, I've learned so much, in that time, and I'm at a very different place than I was when I started that journey, as far as not only understanding the teachings with my limited, within my karmic limitations, but with, more getting closer to faith. I'll just call that getting closer, having less questions, less doubts. Sometimes it doesn't seem that way though. Sometimes it seems like I have more doubts than I once had, but I probably don't have as many doubts now. And and my awareness, another thing that's grown a lot is my awareness of my karmic situation, the direness of my karmic situation, and the situation of living in Mappo, the situation of living in the tail end, this declining kalpa in the age of Mappo, 10,000 years from the point where it gets like to the lowest spot before it turns around and starts to be an ascending kalpa. So, just the implications of all that, and just how ignorant a being I am, how much I'm ruled by blind passions and aversions and attachments and fear and anger and ignorance and obscurations and delusions of not understanding, just not really seeing reality as it is, and the depth of that, and not only in me, but seeing that in other people, and in this, so they seeing the depth of that kind of how the bad karmic state, other than being born as a human being, other than that's, you got that going for you. If you're born as a human being, the rare human birth, that you've had enough good karmic causes to be born as a human, which is a great thing to be celebrated. But other than that, your karmic state's pretty bad if you're born now. And our collective karmic state is pretty bad if we're born together in Mappo. And so my awareness of that has grown, so there's been change. Things have changed, things have shifted, but I still am where I am, and I'm still my questions, still my doubts, and I'm not going to ignore them this time. I am not going to fool myself. I'm not going to, ignore and just wish away my questions and doubts and pretend to myself. I never on purpose pretended to anybody else. I pretended to myself that when I thought I had Shinjin, and convinced myself this past year, during starting sometime in 2001, or was it 2020? Started somewhere in 2020, and then obviously into 2021, and it wasn't until the summer of 2021 that I finally came out of the I finally realized the ruse I'd pulled on myself. I'm not going to do that again. I've done it a few times before that too, but not for as long a period. That was almost for like a year or something that I convinced myself, that I had Shinjin, and no doubts, no questions, just ignored them and pretend they were just my monkey mind, just doing what my monkey mind does. And I'd done that before, but for much shorter periods of time, a matter of days or a matter of weeks. That's about it. I don't think it ever went longer than a matter of weeks before, like I said, this past time, which was almost a year or over a year, not even sure. But I just not going to put myself through that again. So I'm going to make sure I'm not leaving Jodo Shinshu though. When I say that, I'm not saying it the way I did back in the summer. I say I'm not putting myself through that again. I'm not putting myself through that in the sense that I'm not going to ignore my questions and doubts. I'm going to be ruthless in looking at them, talking about them. And I know that's just a part of deep listening. I'm not making any kind of big, it's not some kind of, it's just part of the path, part of what you do. And I'm just not going to stop doing that. Just not going to stop until Shinjin is received. Until there is reception of Shinjin, until the gift of Shinjin is received, I'm going to keep talking about my questions and doubts. Anyway, so I think I've talked about this as much as I can, so thank you very much. Namo Amida Buddha.